Hello everyone, this is Keith Jackson and welcome to Jack's Math Notebook. In this video, we're going to learn how to add fractions with unlike denominators, and we have three big examples to show you how we can do that. So let's take the first big example in which we have 5, 6 plus 1/4, noticing that the denominators are different, so we're going to have to find the least common denominator of 6 and 4. We're going to do that by counting by 6, or I should say counting by sixes, and then we're going to count by fours right here. So let's go back and count by sixes again. So we have 6, 12, 18, and 24. And then let's go ahead and count by fours, in which we have 4, 8, 12, and 16. Noticing that I can circle 12 because 12 will be our least common denominator for this particular problem right here for these two fractions. And so I'm just going to put 12 right here as a denominator here, 12 right here as a denominator here, and then I'm going to just compare them by doing it this way. I'm just going to know that 4 times 3 will give us 12. So whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. And so I know that 1 times 3 will give us 3. And so 1/4 is equivalent to 3/12. And we have that right there squared away. Now let's take a look at this one right here, in which we have 5, 6, and we're going to compare it to a fraction that has 12 in the denominator. And we know that 6 times 2 will give us 12. Whatever we do to the denominator, we do the same thing to the numerator, and 5 times 2 will give us 10. And so now we have 10 twelfths plus 3 twelfths, which will give us 13 twelfths right here. And your teacher may not want you to leave it as an improper fraction, meaning that the numerator is larger than the denominator. So your teacher's probably going to want you to turn it into a mixed fraction. And we're going to do that by the division right here. So this is really the same as saying 13 divided by 12. And we're going to put that right here, 13 inside the box. And we know that 12 goes into 13 just one time. 12 times 1 will give us 12. 13 minus 12 will give us 1. This right here is the whole number. That's the big number right here that you see out front right here. So that'd be 1. Okay. Remainders are always numerators. And so it's a remainder of 1. And so it goes right here. And the 12 right here, because it's in the denominator in all three situations here, well, it's going to stay right there in the denominator position. And so our answer is going to be 1 and 1/12, y'all. And let's go ahead and go to the second big example, in which we have 3/4 plus 2/5, and we need a common denominator for the 4 and the 5. And so we're going to count by fours, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. And let's count by fives, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And we notice that 20 is the first number that they have in common, the least common denominator that will work for both those denominators, y'all. And so we're going to put that 20 right there, and we're going to park this 20 right here, and we know that 5 times 4 will give us 20. Whatever we do to the denominator, we do to the numerator, because 2 times 4 will give us 8. 2/5 is the same as 8/20, and so let's do the same thing with 3/4, comparing it to a fraction with 20 as a denominator. And we know that 4 times 5 will give us 20. Whatever we do to the bottom, we do to the top, and 3 times 5 will give us 15. 15 plus 8, because we're only adding the numerators, right? We're keeping the denominator the same. So 15 plus 8 will give us 23. And so now we have 23/20. And in order to turn this into a mixed fraction, we're just going to divide 23 by 20, as you see right here. And we know that 20 goes into 23 one time, because 20 times 1 will give us 20. 23, take away 20, will give us 3. And of course, right here, this is our remainder, which serves as our numerator. And this number up here is our whole number, keeping the 20 in the denominator position. And so the final answer is 1 and 3/20. And let's move on to the third big example, in which we have 2/3 plus 5/12. And so we need to find the common denominator that will fit 3 and 12. And so let's count by threes, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and so on and so forth. And then we can count by 12s, 12, 24. The reason why I didn't go too far here, because 12 right here is the least common denominator that will work in this particular case. And so let's park that 12 in the denominator for both these fractions that you see right here. And we know that 12 times 1 will give us 12. Whatever we do to the bottom, we do to the top, because 5 times 1 will give us 5. And in this case, we know that 3 times 4 would give us 12. And whatever we do to the bottom, we do to the top. 2 times 4 would give us 8. 8 plus 5 will give us 13. 13/12. So 13 divided by 12 will work out right over here as well. And so again, as you can see, 12 goes into 13 one time. 13 minus 12 will give us that 1. And again, this right here is our whole number that's right out front. Remainders are always numerators, and this 12 right here is the denominator, since it's been in the denominator position the whole time. And so the answer right here is 1 and 1/12, just like our first big example. Okay, you have been given a lot of information. I wouldn't blame you if you need to pause the video to take a look at these three big examples, or replay this video as many times you need to gain a deeper understanding of this concept. But in the meantime, please comment, share, like, and subscribe to Jack's Math Notebook for more content. Thank you, and goodbye.